Hey guys, I'm back again, and we have the story. It's about a very well known drug dealer. This was, you remember growing up, the 80s, the 90s, when the rich guys on the block were the drug dealers, the nice cars, they had the nice clothes, the jewelry, and for some reason they were looked up to. The story that we have is about Alpo Martinez. This was one of the biggest drug dealers in New York. So, why was he the biggest? Well, reports are saying he started very, very young. So, for him to have started that young, it would seem that he was hanging out with the wrong crowd. A lot of times, the teenagers, they want to be with the drug dealers, with robbers. They want to be hanging out with they're considered the cool kids when they're doing bad. You know, at 13, he should have been in school. He should have. But the way this story goes, he was a very strong-willed person. And not in a good way. So everyone has seen on the news that he was shot. It did happen on Halloween, October 31st. They're saying that he was at a club around 3 a.m. and he was leaving the club. So, do you think that someone seen him in the club? Do you think that his enemies were following him? What do you guys think about that? Because he wasn't a young guy. He was an older guy. You know, his real name is Albert Martinez, but he went by Alpo. He was born in Spanish Harlem. And back then it was really, really bad. It was considered a ghetto, so it was really hard. And I think a lot of times when people are doing drugs, they see it as a way out. You know, they're trying to make money any which way that they can. Because for a lot of young black males, it's very hard to find really good jobs. It's pretty hard to do that. So a lot of times, they do go to a life of crime, unfortunately. He was born June 8th, 1966. He definitely had, like a lot of friends, a lot of, associates that helped him because he was a kid. He was a young kid when he started. And they're saying that he also took down a lot of other big time drug dealers. And not just being a drug dealer, he also had 14 counts of murder. So this guy was a menace. What do you guys think about that? Not only did he have poison in the streets, this guy was allegedly killing people all over the place. And these are the reports from, these are the news outlets. So this is true. And there was a movie based on his life. It was called Paid in Full. And that movie was, I want to say, in the late 80s, early 90s, that movie. Very popular movie. You had some really good actors that played in that movie. And it was based about him. Him and some of his friends. They're a documentary. He did say that he admitted to killing one of his best friends. And you'll see in the pictures. There's a lot of pictures that he was taking when he was living the high life. You see the clothes. You see the nice cars. And that's a life young guys want. It's so enticing because there's so much money. These guys make millions upon millions of dollars. The amount of money they make, it's insane. So, he's saying he was 25 years old when he did go to jail. And he was released in 2015. But remember, he was in the police protection. He was in informant, so he had protection. And they're saying he spent his jail time in Colorado, so he wasn't supposed to be back in Harlem. Why did he come back to New York? That's the question. Because it's saying he was released in 2015. So he was out for some time. And yeah. So it looks like they were just waiting. They were just waiting on this guy. Why would he come out of police informant to think that people totally forgot or think that he would be okay? There's pictures of him in his cars, riding around in motorcycles. He had his Harley Davidson, and he still was obsessed with that life from 30 years ago, from the 80s, because in the current pictures, you'll see his designer. He had to still hold on to that. He couldn't let it go. At 55 years old, he was leaving from a club. And that was his demise, going back to New York. Sometimes you have to grow up and understand. But he made the choice a long time ago, because that old street saying goes, you live by the sword, you're going to die by it. And that's the street life. Jail or 6 feet under. And guess what? He did both. So what do you guys think? Do you think that was his karma? Because they're saying that he killed he killed some of his friends, best friends and close friends. And he, snitched on a lot of people. So do you think that was just timing? They were just waiting for him? I don't know. I do believe there is a part 2, because his story is just not, it's not, remember there was a movie, and actually the movie was, I believe, in early 2000. So, yeah, so don't forget, guys, like the video, subscribe to the video, and I will have a part 2. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.